Are you ready to witness a seismic shift in global power? For decades, a hidden hand has shaped the destiny of African nations, but a new generation is rising, demanding sovereignty and rewriting history. This isn't just news, it's a revolution, and understanding it is key to understanding our future. For centuries, the narrative of Africa has been dictated by external powers. France, in particular, never truly left after the colonial era. They simply evolved their control, weaving a complex web of economic, political, and military influence that many called France-Afrique. This wasn't just diplomacy, it was a system designed to maintain dominance. Imagine a system where your national currency is controlled by a foreign bank, where your leaders are often chosen for their loyalty to an external power, and where foreign troops are stationed on your soil, ostensibly for your protection. This was the reality for many African nations under the shadow of France. It was a subtle yet powerful form of neo-colonialism that stifled true independence and economic growth. One of the most potent tools of French control has been the CFA franc, a currency used by 14 West and Central African nations. While proponents claimed it offered stability, critics argued it was a leash, tying these economies directly to France and the Eurozone. This arrangement often meant that African nations couldn't devalue their currency to boost exports or control their own monetary policy. This financial dependency meant that even after gaining political independence, economic sovereignty remained elusive. Decisions made in Paris often had a more significant impact on African economies than those made by their own elected governments. For young entrepreneurs and aspiring leaders, this system felt like a constant barrier to genuine self-determination and prosperity. Beyond economics, France maintained a significant military presence across the continent. Ostensibly there to combat terrorism and ensure regional stability, these bases often became symbols of lingering foreign intervention. For many Africans, the presence of foreign troops felt less like protection and more like a subtle form of occupation, limiting their nation's strategic autonomy. The narrative of fighting terrorism often masked deeper geopolitical interests, leading to questions about the true effectiveness and intentions of these interventions. This constant foreign military presence fueled resentment, especially among a youth population increasingly aware of their nation's sovereign rights. They questioned why their own armies couldn't handle their security. The turning point for many came with Operation Barkhane, France's large-scale military intervention in the Sahel region. Launched with the aim of eradicating extremist groups, the operation, spanning years and involving thousands of troops, paradoxically saw an increase in insecurity and civilian casualties. This outcome sparked widespread disillusionment. Instead of bringing peace, the intervention seemed to exacerbate existing tensions and even contribute to the spread of extremism. For the people on the ground, it became clear that the French approach was not working. This growing frustration laid the groundwork for a powerful wave of anti-French sentiment, particularly among the youth who bore the brunt of the instability. The dam finally broke. Mali was among the first to declare enough, then Burkina Faso, and most recently Niger. These nations, often led by young, determined military figures, didn't just protest, they took decisive action. They expelled French troops, severed long-standing defense agreements, and even banned French media outlets. This wasn't a coordinated coup in the traditional sense, it was a series of sovereign decisions reflecting deep popular discontent. These nations, once seen as French strongholds, became symbols of a new African resolve. Their actions sent a clear message. The era of external dictation was over, and the future of Africa would be decided by Africans. What the Western media often overlooks is that these nations didn't collapse after France left. Instead, they pivoted, strategically diversifying their partnerships. Russia stepped in with military support and advisors, offering a no-strings-attached approach to security. China expanded its already significant investments in infrastructure and trade, focusing on mutual economic benefit. Turkey offered diplomatic and economic partnerships, while India provided training and technological cooperation. This wasn't about replacing one master with another, it was about strategic autonomy. African nations were finally choosing their own partners based on their national interests, not having them imposed by historical colonial ties. This shift represents a profound rebalancing of global power. The The consequences for France are far-reaching. They're not just losing military bases, they're losing access to vital resources like uranium from Niger, crucial for their nuclear energy program. They're losing control over the CFA franc, a significant source of financial leverage. And perhaps most importantly, they're losing cultural dominance as African nations increasingly embrace local languages and diverse educational systems. This unplugging from its post-colonial empire is a terrifying prospect for Paris. Africa was never meant to walk away. It was meant to remain a reliable source of resources and influence. The loss of these strategic assets signals a significant decline in France's global standing and a re-evaluation of its role on the world stage. At the heart of this monumental shift is Africa's vibrant, digitally savvy youth. They are tired of seeing their nations exploited, their resources plundered, and their leaders begging for aid that often comes with debilitating conditions. This generation, connected globally through social media, is acutely aware of historical injustices and fiercely determined to forge a new path. Social media platforms like Telegram, YouTube, and Twitter have become their battlegrounds. They are using these tools to expose neo-colonial practices, organize protests, and amplify Pan-African voices. This isn't just rebellion, it's a digital revolution powered by Gen Z and Gen Y demanding true sovereignty and economic justice. They are the driving force behind this pushback, inspiring change across the continent. This youth-led movement is deeply rooted in a resurgent Pan-Africanism. They are reclaiming their history, celebrating their diverse cultures, and advocating for greater unity and self-reliance across the continent. They understand that true liberation means not just political independence, but economic and intellectual freedom as well. They are demanding accountability from their own leaders and rejecting external interference. This new wave of Pan-Africanism is about building strong, independent African nations that can collectively negotiate their place in the world on their own terms. It's a powerful vision of a continent taking charge of its own destiny, inspiring activists worldwide. The West once believed Africa would remain perpetually dependent. France assumed it could forever play kingmaker, but Africa has made a resounding choice: sovereignty over servitude. The leaders emerging now, whether military or civilian, are not interested in being validated by Western powers. Their focus is on earning the respect and trust of their own people. As more nations follow this path, the geopolitical landscape will continue to shift dramatically. France won't just be out of Africa, it will be out of relevance in a continent that is rapidly asserting its agency. This is a pivotal moment in history, signaling the rise of a multipolar world where Africa is a powerful, independent player. This is more than just news, it's a blueprint for global change. The world is transforming rapidly, and Africa is not just leading the charge, it's showing us all what true self-determination looks like. Don't just watch history unfold, understand it, analyze it, and be part of the conversation. Subscribe to Politics, Power, and Policy for more in-depth analysis that empowers you with the truth. Share this video with your friends, spark a discussion, and let's amplify the voices of change together. Your engagement fuels the movement for a more just and equitable world. And until next time, my friends, stay safe and informed.